video if its video is public, unless I get your permission, right? Okay, let's get started. And again, so we are going to cover this exploratory data analysis using the Avocado dataset. And let me double check and make sure it's recorded. That's great. So that being said, make sure to have already downloaded the dataset to your own laptop or computer. I'm going to give you a brief overview of this dataset. You see here, we have a few columns, okay? And dataset is from 2017 to 2020. Okay, it's weekly data. And this is actually real-world data from avocado associations in California. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, California actually, imports probably around 90%, it's avocado from Mexico, and then we probably sell to other locations, right? So and then when we import these avocados, we have conventional one and organic ones, right? Organic avocados usually, are sold in a higher price, right? I don't know how expensive it is, but you can take a look, right? And so that being said, conventional ones are usually cheaper, right? And we do have different locations because you understand, some states probably don't charging, probably sales tax, right? So the prices in certain locations may be affected by the distance between maybe, the factory or the plant or supplying center, right? Or the warehouse and these, grocery stores, right? And we do have mileage, which we use to calculate, like a theoretical distance from, warehouse to certain locations, right? And then we also have total volume, which means, how many pounds of avocados we sell per week, okay? As in average price, as in location, okay? Location. So with that being said, let's get started. So imagine, sometimes you do need to process your data a little bit. For example, if you want to build a map, you see this / may not work, right? So imagine you want to build a map, you need to figure out a way to remove these /, right? Yeah, so they will be annoying because, for each location, you can only have one name. And Buffalo and Rochester, unfortunately, there are two different locations, right? So if you build a map, this column will give you a mess, okay? Because, you have some locations, Chicago, right? One zip code, but you have some other locations which, represents two different, zip codes, okay? So that be very confusing because, when it comes to data analysis, people who enter data will be different from people who actually analyze data. That's a problem, right? So imagine if we use the same standard, we can avoid this problem. So that being said, for those of you who probably read, some online articles, you probably understand, many times processing data takes about, 80% of time, 80% time. So your goal is to really understand what this data set means, all right? Having some domain expertise. I remember the first time I was trying to build this map using Tableau or other software, it was just so painful because this column give me so many errors. And then, imagine if you have, let's say, more than 12,000 rows, you don't want to deal with these / manually, right? You want to find an automatic way to remove these / and then still want to make sure that data set represents reality, right? So long story short, let's move to the less challenging work we'll be doing today, which is exploratory analysis. We just built some histograms, okay? Hopefully, hopefully we get the work done, okay? So that being said, first, let's say we'll be using RStudio Cloud and just do Google search. RStudio Cloud, and then login, okay? Login with your credentials, okay? Login with your credentials. Okay, for those of you who have problems, who have questions, please wait until I finish the whole tutorial. I'll come to your seat, okay? So, so again, here, new project, right? The right side, click new project, and then there are more than 4 different options. Select the second option, new art studio project, okay? New art studio project. I don't want to upgrade my account. It's because, you know, I have too many reports here. I'm going to delete some of them. Once I delete, you know, more than 2, I have 2 more opportunities, and then I could delete again next time, okay? So you don't want to buy, you know, this license. Although it's cheap, you know, you don't need to, okay? You can always use this for free. So for each month, I can think you can use up to like 30 hours, okay? 30 hours, okay? Unless you really get addicted. Yeah, you can also download like Art Studio to your desktop. Then you can use it for unlimited time, okay? So now you see here console, right? Console means, you know, when you run your syntax, the result will show here, okay, below. So let's start a new file. The new file we are going to build is going to be our Markdown file. It's also named rmd.rmd. We can save that file. And then if I save that file, I can let you guys upload, and then you guys don't need to input type anything, okay? And let's see our Markdown. So asking, do you want to install these packages? Yes. Without these packages, there's no way for us to create this HTML page in a few minutes, okay? So creating HTML page, you know, means you want to use the HTML language, right? So this program language really simplifies HTML language. So you can read it, you know, you can read, you know, this language here in the source environment easily, okay? You can understand the word by word or sentence by sentence. So now the template syntax here shows you how to create, you know, pressure plot using the sample data from R. So we don't use this template, okay? So we remove it, click backspace, okay? Delete everything. So we start from scratch. So now you see your txt file, which is syntax I created for this class. Select all. And then right click, and then make a copy. Or just use Control-C, which is the hot key, okay? So now make a copy and paste it here. And then you see here, you know, your name. I try to make your job easier. Just put your name here, XYZ, and then KTG, right? Taught by your instructor, okay? And then only change the date. And I'll briefly explain, you know, what we did here, okay? So I think today is kind of, you know, February 9, right? Or 8, February 8, right? 7. February 7, okay, February 7, 2024. And then let's save it. February 4, 2024. Make sure keep the quotation mark, because that's a part of the HTML language, okay? Save it. Just save it using number 1. Because this name will not be published. You see now it's pop-up, you know, message here. It shows, you know, do you want to install ggplot and polyr? Yes, definitely. Otherwise, there'll be no way for us to create these plots. Okay, click install. And we install these packages. Now we try to examine what we did here. So guys, so now I think I'd show you a quick, you know, shortcut, okay? And maybe let's finish this, but I think maybe let's go ahead and go there. So see this line of syntax, I show you the data set that is hosted on my website, right? So you can host your data set online, and then, you know, let's say you can use the software to read that data set, right? And so it helps you avoid that hassle. What's a hassle? The hassle is, you know, each time, remember last few weeks, right? You have to upload the data set, right? Upload data set, Avocado, right? That's doable. But why don't we do this? It takes more time. It takes more time. Yeah, because AI technology, we can always, you know, do more things, right? Do more things in less time, okay? So that's how we do it. The data set is hosted online. Now it's like we are doing some cloud computing, right? Everything is from the internet, okay? We are not using any physical space of this laptop, okay? So we are going to read that data set, and then we name it as, we give a name, data, right? And then we do a summary, and then we are going to install the library, read the library with str means string, right? If you don't know what string means, str means make a copy, new file, our script, paste it here, add a question mark, and then highlight, I click run. It gives you the definition of this function. So you see, it shows you what this object means, okay? What this object means. An object could be, let's say a variable, okay? A data set, okay? As then here, the beautiful thing about this language is that, shows you examples, because sometimes definitions can be confusing. So you see the example here also shows you sometimes probably the output, okay? You can run these examples and then see how it looks like. And, maybe when we have time, we come back, but basic, it shows that, let's see what these variables look like. And you want to, see all of these variables in the data set. What are these variables? What are these variables again? We go back to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 variables. First one's date, second one average price, third one total volume. Next one type of avocados, conventional or organic. Next one year. Next one distance. Okay, let's see the next one. Next section, we actually build a histogram. So see, I can add a pound key or hashtag here. I tell software I want to have histogram. What does that mean? HIST. You never encountered HIST before. You don't understand histogram. It's just first 4 letters, right? But you want to understand this function a bit better. Come to this file, new file, our script, and then paste HIST here, and then add a question mark, and then it shows let's say what this function is, right? What this function is. You see here, this function gives you a histogram of the given data values, right? Of the given data values. It gives you a histogram, okay? So next one, you see we also add a title, okay? We want to show the histogram for average price. Average price. Where is this average price? It's the second column, right? Where is it average price? It's the second column. So you see, we can do more things in less time, okay? Imagine if I just publish the report, it takes me 2 minutes. Now I'm trying to document everything. So you see, I can add some documentation, okay? So let's say I want to add some documentation, guys. So let's say using, let's say I am building a histogram for the variable average price. Using the paste function, okay? So now you see this function is just like Excel function. It may not be the same. It may not be the same, but it's similar, right? And then I'm write two more lines of notes. Let's see, main means, the title of the graph, okay? And then, let's say I have one more line. X means the, let's say the description of the X axis, okay? No, X lab here. So X lab here means, let's say the description of the X axis, okay? Price in USD, right? I think here this $sign means, let's say I just want to select one variable, right? That's consistent with the Excel function. I just want to select one variable from this data set. What is that variable? Average price. I also use a comma, and then I also try to, display my syntax this way. Instead of having everything on one single line, I put in 3 different lines. So people when they come here, they can absorb the information all in once. The first line, I build the graph. Second line, I add the headline. Third line, I add the x-axis. Step by step, right? Step by step. Because when you read, you want to absorb information one by one. If I give you one line, it seems like to be a mess, right? It seems to be like a mess. So, and the next one you see here, we use ggplot. If you never used ggplot before, 2 different ways. I think this is a fancy way, but you can always do Google search, right? See ggplot, add a question mark, click run. And let's say you could try to, you see here, this is already AI technology. So they remind that, you may want to use 2 different, 2 question marks because this is not the package. Usually when you want to know what the package does, you want to use 2 question marks, right? This is not ggplot, right? It's too much documentation.
Is it because you put 2, maybe?
Yeah, I think usually, for package, they probably use 2 different, question marks, but I can clarify next time again.
The number 2.
Oh, we need number 2. Yeah, we do. So here, see now, they want you to click a link because they do have some examples, okay? And they do have some original documentation. I really don't like the first one because the first one seems to be very confusing. But maybe the best way is to just use ggplot search, okay? Shows what this package does. And you see here, let's say how to create a visually appealing graph, okay? Visually appealing graph. And different colors, different XY axis, or even dashboards, anything you can imagine, okay? With just a few lines syntax or heat maps or whatever. So any kind of visualization you can imagine, okay? So I think next one you see color. We are going to use red, blue, and green. But I'm not going to explain details. But we can have a tutorial on ggplot in the future because data visualization is just so interesting. Again, make sure you keep these forward slashes, forward the ticks, okay, forward ticks, because it's just a part, Markdown, our Markdown syntax, okay. So I also add, let's say, description or short description, okay. Let's say sometimes you got some immediate insights, you can write it down, but when you write this, when you add these descriptions, make sure you always add pound keys, because when you add pound keys, R knows that you are not going to run those lines of syntax, okay. When you add pound keys, you see, especially in the shaded area, in other places, when you add pound keys, it gives you a headline, okay. Let's just do it. You see here, we added 3 additional lines. We are going to see the difference, okay, and you'll see how it works, okay. You can definitely try to add some pound keys to other paragraphs and see how it changes the file. Let's run it. Hopefully you don't get any error. Congratulations. You see, data analysis just takes you less than 1 minute. Less than 1 minute. But understanding how this works may take you more time. Okay. Let's get it published so we can celebrate our success. Drink some water, some coffee, and come back and relax. Okay. Because I think sometimes using Excel is really stressful. When you have too many documents open, many websites open, your machine may stop working. Okay. When you do cloud computing means you're not using your physical space. Okay. You can publish. I save my credentials here. Because my backing password are not the same. So I'm gonna just copy the title because I think I want to save my time. So I can, enjoy my time later on. So let's say, I'm going to have / and here means, last part, the HTML address. If you are the first time who build this histogram, you can use HIST or maybe just avocado. It's up to you. I use, avocado before. I'm going to avocado avocado EDA. Maybe to make it clear, EDA, underscore EDA. So people know that these are two different words, okay? Avocado underscore EDA. You can also add a description. My third week lab submission. Okay, add the description. Try to do something different every week. Okay, do not think your instructor will teach you everything. That's just impossible. Okay, I'm showing you some minimum work which I can do in 1 hour 15 minutes. And then if you want to learn more, come to my office. Let's do that competition together so you can learn more. And to be honest, that student who actually messaged me today, she was actually part of that group who did the competition 3 years ago. Okay, so let's get it published. Otherwise, okay, let's see. So first you see here documentation. That means we are going to have headlines, section headlines as well. Then paragraphs. What's the objective of this analysis, right? If the audience come to a web page, you want to tell them what it means. Why do you do this? Why does it matter? And then the data set, right? The data set. This is a brief explanation. And then you see here a syntax part. We usually have output in the shaded area. This is consistency, right? You see your syntax here is also in the shaded area. And they made this so beautiful because when the color is red, they actually automatically show you the red color. Okay, the color is blue, you can change it to purple. Okay, automatically change it to purple. Right? Just do some experiments because your goal is to learn to be different. Okay, do not learn to be the same. And because marketing is also about being creative. Okay. Maybe just change this one to yellow, but yellow will be weird. Okay, maybe this one you can use maybe black. Okay, it's up to you. Let's take a look. If you have any question, I will be answering question momentarily. So we have summary of data set. We read the data set using read.csv function. Okay, and then we have string str function. Okay. Imagine what I use that question mark to show you the definition of that function, right? Definition of that function. And then we have, this data frame, which shows you that, we have 12,628 observations. We have 6 variables. We also have the first few values of each variable. So people come to this website, they read your reports. They understand, okay, what is this guy doing? And then imagine if you use Excel, okay, you send it to your manager, okay, this is what I did. And, there's no way for you to add, detailed explanation of what you did, right? It's like, let's say it's a black box sometimes. So I really allows you to show what's going on each step. You see, we added 3 lines using these punkies. The reason we do this is, to let you know that, what did you actually do here? If your parent asks you, you can explain it. Or in case you forget, let's say next year you come back to this workbook, you can explain it. Or next year when you come back to this workbook, you want to steal my code or syntax, you want to adapt it for something else, you can understand it, right? That's a good learning. It's not saying, okay, so you come to take my quiz, 6 questions and get 1 credit, right? And that gives you a short memory. Learning curve, means, let's say in 1 week, you are going to probably forget something. In 1 semester, you forget, at least 50 or 60%. So library, and then, we build this histogram here below, right? And then ggplot, you see ggplot is really a good way for it to build a graph. It's better than that histogram, right? Definitely, guys, you can add, colors to this histogram to make it visually appealing. How to do it? Search, histogram, and then R, let's say, in R, and then how to add, how to, change color, right? How to change color, different colors, right? you can do it, but this is baseline histogram. That's all probably already enough, right? So you see here we have conventional and organic avocados, right? And then we show you, the average price for organic and conventional. Imagine, guys, this is also not perfect, guys. Imagine if I were to do this again, you know what I want to do? I want to add, let's say the mean value to this graph, the mean value, okay? I want to add a mean value for organic avocados. I want to add a mean value for conventional avocados, okay? For conventional avocados. See if you can do it. I mean, for those volunteers who choose to do it sometime this week, maybe next, at the beginning next class, tell me. I'll give you just a little bit extra credits, okay?
What, repeat that again.
Add the mean value. I'm going to probably send you an email.
Add-
Add the mean value to this graph.
So like the.
Yeah. Mean value for organic avocados and mean value for conventional avocados. You have to make sure you create this plot or report again. Okay. How to do it? Google is the best professor. Okay. So search ggplot and let's say mean value. Let's say mean line. Okay. This line is going to be mean. So mean line to histogram. Okay. ggplot, how to add mean, mode, or even median, everything all in once. Okay. Search. That's how you learn. So do not expect to learn everything from your professor instructor because we only have 1 hour, 30 minutes or 20, 15 minutes. Okay. So next one. So we can see, x-axis and y-axis. X-axis shows you, let's say locations, right? City names. And y-axis shows you years and, total volume.
And then is that color a default or we can change that color?
Exactly. You can change your color. So I think here, you asked excellent question. And maybe, I'm going to see if I can hit the color again. But you see here, to stack, these histograms in one single graph for different years, it's not easy. And so that being said, I did multiple experiments. I figure out maybe this is a better one. Still not perfect. You know why? Because y-axis, you see total volume, it doesn't show you, let's say the real number, right? It shows you the scientific value, right? Scientific value looks ugly, right? But, I think, there's still, as always, room for improvement. So, I mean, if you guys can figure out how to make this y-axis, a little bit better, right? Real value. Let's say you want to show the real value in y-axis, I will give you more extra credits, right? So Google search, ggplot, how to show real value. And, this is how you learn. How to show real value instead of scientific notation, okay? So you see, answers are here. Your instructor cannot memorize any of these lines syntax, right? I need to document everything before I teach this class. And then, I also, remember the reason I add these count keys and explanations that, I can't remember everything. I need to document everything I do. And I think some of you ask excellent questions. Sometimes, I may not be able to give you a full answer, the best answer. I try my best, but I still need to probably add more descriptions, right? So imagine now next time your boss may ask you similar questions. How do you do it? Add more documentations, explanations, and descriptions. So that's going to be a report because your goal is to generate insights using this tool. Your goal is not to learn this tool and how it works, right? Your goal is to generate business insights using this tool, right? So now imagine if I want to get a mean value, median value, and then visualize that value of that line on this histogram, how to do it, right? How to do it. So open the question, Google search, we can get it done. Show me at the beginning of next class. It could be like just a little bit extra credits, okay? Let's see how you learn, okay? So I think, that's it. I'm gonna stop recording the session.